Okay, so structures and unions both are related to the same concept. That means when different data elements are to be stored at one place. Okay, so then we use these structures and unions. Okay, so in structure we know that in structures memory is allocated for all the members. Okay, so for all the members of structure, then memory is allocated. Okay, but in union, how the memory is allocated? Okay, so we need to understand. Then we can differentiate between structure and union. Okay, so how you can define union? Okay, so if you see the definition of union, union is a collection of union is a collection of data items, or you can call them as elements, data elements of different types that share a common name. That share a common name. Okay, so in union also different data type elements, if we want to store at one place, then we can use a union. Okay, so example how it can be defined. Okay, so a union is defined by using the keyword. A union is defined using the keyword union. In lowercase we write it as union. Okay, like for structures we used the keyword struct. Okay, yes or no, we used the keyword struct to define a structure. Okay, similarly in union we use the keyword union to define the union. Okay, so example, if we look into if we take an example of union. Okay, so say example, then see here union, we use the keyword union. Okay, so for example I am using the name test. Okay, so here I define different data elements, say char ch. Okay, so then int something like m I am defining. Okay, so then say float f, then end this with closing brace followed by semicolon. Both structure and union will have the same syntax. Please remember, structure and union will have the same syntax. Okay, so this is how we define a union with the keyword union, then give some name to the union test. Okay, so then define all the members of the union. Okay, so it looks like a structure only with the difference with this keyword union. There we use it structure. Okay, so then you can ask what is the difference between this and structure, union and structure. Okay, so if you look at the memory allocation for this union, it will be in this way. Okay, so assume that I have a union defined this way, union test. Okay, so char ch int n float x something, then I'm closing. then I am defining a variable u here. Okay, union test u. U is the union variable here. Okay. So then what is the memory allocated for this union u, that we need to understand. Okay, so here in union, memory is not allocated for all the members. In structure, memory is allocated for each and every member, but in union, memory is allocated for the highest data type element, highest data type member. Okay, so highest data type member, which is the highest data type here? Float. Float is the highest data type. Why? Because char occupies 1 byte, integer occupies, assume 2 bytes, then float occupies 4 bytes. Okay, so that means x is occupying 4 bytes. So then memory for 4 bytes will be allocated in this way. Only 4 bytes of memory is allocated, and the same memory will be shared among these three members. Okay, so how it is shared? For example, if you are using ch, then the first byte will be used for storing the value of this variable ch. And if you are using for example, n, okay, so assume that integer occupies 2 bytes. Okay, then the first 2 bytes will be used to store the value of n. Okay, then all the 4 bytes will be used to store the value of x. Okay, so if you are asked what is the memory allocated for this union variable u, then that is nothing but the highest data type element memory. Okay, so 4 bytes will be allocated here, and that will be shared. Okay, so for example, n value you have, x value you have given as something like 15.75. Okay, so then 15.75 will be stored in these 4 bytes in this way. Okay, so the main difference between structure and union is in terms of memory. In structure, memory is allocated for all the elements. In union, memory is allocated for highest data type element. Highest data type element. Okay, right? So generally, short answer question will be asked on this difference between structure and union. Okay. So next important topic is pointers. Okay. So this is very, very important in C language, pointers, and very interesting and very tricky, difficult to understand. People say this. Okay. But if you listen the concepts very carefully, then pointers are very easy. Okay. So not to worry. Okay. So you can use pointers comfortably in programming. Okay. So what is a pointer? Before we define the pointer, first we'll see what happens when we declare a variable. Okay, so that means when we declare a variable, like say int a is equal to 15. Okay, this way when you declare a variable and assign an initial value 15 to it, what happens internally, that we should understand. Okay, so what happens? The compiler allocates 4 bytes of memory, assuming that integer occupies 4 bytes. Okay, so the compiler allocates 4 bytes memory for the variable a and stores the value 15 in that memory location. Okay, so if you see the memory diagram like this, 4 bytes of memory is allocated and 15 will be stored in this. Okay, so this 15 is nothing but the value present in this memory location, and whereas a is nothing but the variable name here. Okay, and similarly this memory location will have an address. Every memory location inside the computer will be recognized by using some number, and that number is called address. That number is called address. Okay, so if you want to say what is the address of a, means assume that 4002 is the address of a. Okay, so in every memory location we'll have these three values: variable, that means memory location name, which is nothing but a variable, and a value stored in that memory location, and address of that memory location. Okay, right? So every memory location internally will have an address associated with it. Like in an area, we'll have houses, different houses will be there, and each house is identified uniquely by using an address. Yes or no? Similarly, when we have large memory, how to identify each memory location. Okay, so then the compiler uses this address to identify each memory location uniquely. Okay, so this number, this is called 4002. I am just given an example value here. Okay, so this 4002 is called as a address. Okay, so then why we require this address? That means we can also access the value stored at some memory location by using its address. Okay, so sometimes in an area you may see a house with some name like Srinivasa Nilayam. Okay, so if there are other houses with the same name, then how you distinguish these two? By using their house numbers. House number is nothing but the address. Okay, and this house number will be different for both houses. Okay, so similarly there may be a variable a at one place inside the memory, and there may be another a inside the memory at another place. Okay, so to identify these two uniquely, then we use these addresses. That is the advantage of using these addresses. Okay, so here my point is every memory location. Okay, till now we are accessing this memory location. That means the value 15 we are accessing by using this variable name. Okay, but from now onwards we can also access this memory location by using its address. By using its address. Okay, so that is what we are saying here. So we can also access the value stored at some memory location by using its address. Okay, so how it can be done? That means special type of variable is required to operate or to work with this address, and that special type of variable is called a pointer. That special type of variable is called a pointer. Okay, so that means now you are working with addresses. Okay, so to store these addresses we require a special type variable, and that variable is called a pointer variable. Remember, pointer is also nothing but a variable. Okay, now how we can define a pointer? Now see here, a pointer is a variable. No doubt, pointer is a variable which stores the address of some other variable. Another variable address will be stored in this pointer variable. Are you getting? Okay, so another variable address now will store in some second variable, and that variable is called a pointer. In ordinary variables, say just int a is equal to 15 we said. Okay, so here a contains an ordinary value. This is ordinary variable a. But if you store the address 4002, then that variable is called a pointer. Okay, so how that pointer can be defined? That means we said that it is a special type of variable. Okay, so special type means it should not be declared same as ordinary variable. Okay, so there should be some difference between ordinary variable and a pointer variable. Okay, so first we'll see the declaration of a pointer. How a pointer can be declared. Okay, so pointer declaration begins with the data type, then give a space, then followed by asterisk symbol. This is called asterisk or star. Okay, star followed by pointer name or variable name. Okay, so variable name now precedes with a symbol called as a star. Okay, so if a variable name is preceded with a star symbol, then that variable is called a pointer variable. That variable is called a pointer variable. In program, if you find such a type of variables, then those are called pointers. Example, if you see data type is int and star p, star p, then end with the semicolon. Okay, so now p is a pointer. Pointer to whom? Pointer to integer variable. So here int is nothing but data type of the value to which this pointer is pointing. Okay, now diagrammatically I'll show ordinary variable and pointer variable. Okay, now see, for example, I have int x is equal to 15. Then immediately what happens? For x, memory will be allocated and 15 will be stored, and this memory location is accessed by using the name x. Okay, so we also said that a memory location will have an address. Okay, assume that the address of this x is 5006. Every memory location has an address, we said. Okay, so now the address of x is 5006. This is called the address of x. Okay, so this is how the compiler remembers this variable x. Okay, so inside the compiler, okay, so when you compile your program, there is a table created. The table is called symbol table. Inside the table, it stores all the related information. That means what is the variable name x, what is its address 5006, what is its value 15, what is its data type int. Such kind of bookkeeping will be done by the compiler. Compiler maintains records for all the variables in this way. Okay, right. Now this is ordinary variable. When x is equal to 15 we declare, then this is what happens internally. Okay, now I declare another variable int star p. Int star p. Now star p means, now we can say that p is a pointer variable. Why we say that p is a pointer? Because it preceded with a star symbol. Okay, so that's why we call it as pointer variable. Okay, now immediately, because it is also a variable, for that also memory is allocated. Yes or no? Okay, so for p also memory is allocated. How much? 4 bytes of memory allocated, because it is going to store only address. Okay, next if I say p is equal to address of x, p equals to address of x. Okay, so that means what we are saying, please store address of x in p. What is the address of x here? 5006. Then that 5006 will be stored in a x like this. Okay, so when this happens, that means when 5006 is stored in a p, now we'll say that p is pointing to x. We say that p is pointing to x. Now p is a pointer to x. X is pointed by p, in other words. Okay, so once you store the address of this variable x, then this is what happens internally. That means p is now pointing to x. Okay, right? So now there is a link created between this pointer variable p and ordinary variable x. Now we can access any variable if you know the variable's address. Once you know the address of some variable, we can access that variable without using its name. Okay, now x address 5006 I know in this variable, pointer variable p. That means now I can access this x by using this address. How it can be done, just see here. Okay, so but that is by using two operators, ampersand address operator and star. The star indicates value at address operator or indirection operator. We call it as indirection operator. Okay, so how it can be done? For example, the value 15 can be accessed now in two ways. Just try to understand here. If I say in printf x is equal to percentage d comma x, what it prints? 15 it prints. Yes or no? What it prints? 15 it prints. Okay, similarly I can also access this value 15 by using pointer like this, printf percentage d comma star p. I can say star p. Okay, so what do you mean by star? Value at address present in p. Okay, so you are telling the computer to get the value. Star means value at address present in p. What is the address present in p? 5006. See here in p 5006. This 5006 is not the value, it is an address. Address of whom? X. Address of whom? X. Okay, so then it goes to this address and gets the value present in that memory location. So in 5006 what is the value present? 15. Okay, so then that 15 will be printed here. Now in second printf, if you observe, in second printf if you observe, we are not using the variable name x here. Without using variable name x, we are printing its value by using this pointer notation. Yeah, hope now it is clear. Now it is clear, I think. Yes, voice is clear now. Okay then. Right. Now see a simple program to demonstrate a pointer here. Okay, so what I am doing, I am declaring a variable x. X is equal to 50. Okay, so when I say x is equal to 50, then this is how the memory is allocated for x we were discussing. Okay, so for x, 4 bytes of memory is allocated like this. This is x and 50 will be stored here. And when you say int star p, when you say int star p, okay, so similarly for p also memory is allocated. Okay, so assume this is p. Then afterwards we can write a statement. Now assume that the address of this x is something. Okay, so we do not know some address it's. Okay, so how you can access address of x, by preceding the variable name with a ampersand symbol, address of x. Now I am storing in a p. If we write a statement like this, okay, so that means address of x now I am assigning to p. And when you store address of some variable into another variable, and this p should be a pointer variable. How you can say that it is a pointer variable? Because this variable name precedes with the symbol star. So that's why you can say that this is a pointer variable. Understood? Okay, so now x address will be stored here. Okay, so assume x address is something like a 3006. I'm just assuming a number here. Okay, so then this 3006 will be stored here. 3006 will be stored here. Okay, so after this statement, now we can say that p is now pointing to x. P is now pointing to x. That means there is a link created between p and x. Okay, clear? So that means now I can add a statement here like this, int star p. So after that I can say p is equals to address of x. Okay, so that means p is now pointing to x. Now see different ways of printing the value. Now I can print address of x equals to, okay, so this variable x address now I'm trying to print here. Okay, so in system the address may be different. Here I assumed only 3006. This is my assumption, but in system it may print a different value. We'll see what is the value. And to print that address we use percentage u format specifier. Percentage u. Okay, so comma. How you can print by using ampersand x. If you say ampersand x, this gives address of x, and that value will be printed here. This is one way. We can also print its address like this. Say address of x. Address of x using pointer. Now I can say using pointer I am printing a address of x here. Percentage u. How I can print here? Where is the address stored here? In memory diagram, if you look into, this is the 3006. Where is that 3006 present here? In variable p. Okay, so we said that when we have a variable like this, say something like int a is equal to 5. Okay, so we said that for a memory is allocated and 5 will be stored, and this box is given the name. When you want to print this value 5, what we do, we use name of this box. Yes or no? Okay, so if you say print a percentage da, then the value present in this box will be printed. Similarly here for p also there is a box. Okay, so how this value will be printed here? Just by using name for this box. Okay, so but that value is not ordinary value. It is an address. Okay, so that means just when you say p, it prints the value present in this box. Okay, so in that box it is nothing but address of x here. Okay, so this is one way. Then printf. Now if you want to print a value of x, value of x is equals to percentage d, we use slash n, okay, comma, how will print? Just by saying x, the value will be printed here. Now we can also print x value by using the pointer. Okay, now you can see value of x using the pointer is equals to, okay, or otherwise I'll write here using the pointer right before, using the pointer, the value of x is equals to, okay. Now I am trying to print the value of x. Okay, so because it is value percentage d, we use new line. Okay, so comma, how we can print when we see here in from this diagram, when see p means, when you say p, the value present in this box will be printed 3006, assume. Okay, it is nothing but address of this. Okay, but this address represents this box address. Okay, so in this box value I want to print by using this address. Okay, so in such case you have to use the notation called as a star p. You have to use the notation star p. Star p indicates the value at address. Star is called value at address operator. Okay, so value at address present in p. Value at address present in p. What is the address present in p? 3006. In 3006 address, what is the value? 50. So that's why it prints 50. Without using a variable name x, now you are printing its value. Okay, so that is by using the pointer. That is the advantage here. Okay, so then say return 0, close. Now if you run this program, just see here, value of x is equal to 50. Just see here, value of x is equal to 50. I think now you can see address of x first, from first printf, from here address of x is equal to 29420485516. This is address, because now address is in terabytes, no, that's why it is using some bigger number. Similarly, address of x using pointer, same number will be printed. See here, so if you just say p, what is the value present in p? This is the number, which is nothing but it is address of x. Okay, so this way using the pointer we can access its address. Then similarly, value of x is equal to 50. When you say x, 50 will be printed, but using the pointer also you can print that value. How? The value of x is equal to 50 printed here. When you say star p, that means it prints 50. Okay, clear? So this is simple program to demonstrate a pointer variable. Okay, so here this x is called ordinary variable and this star p, this is called the pointer variable. Okay, right. So if this is clear, okay, so then now this is very important. The type of a pointer depends on the type of the variable it points to. Okay, so it is not the data type of pointer, it is the data type of value to which it points to, or variable to which it points to. Every pointer points to some data type. Okay, some variable, and that variable will have some data type. Okay, right. And please remember, we must associate a pointer to a particular data type. For example, we cannot assign the address of short int to a long int. Why? Just see here. When you say int x is equal to 1, for x memory will be allocated and 1 will be stored, and y is equal to 2, if you say, for y also memory is allocated and 2 will be stored. Okay, then when you say int star p, for p also memory is allocated. And when you say, assume that x address is 4012 and y address is 5006. Just you assume. Now when you say p is equal to address of x, when you say p is equal to address of x, 4012 will be stored in a p. 4012 will be stored in a p. And when you say P is now pointing to X, we can say now, because X address is now contained in a P. P is now pointing to X. And in the next case, if you say Y is equal to star P, Y is equal to star P. So star P indicates value present in the address of P. Address of P, what is the address present in P? 4012. In 4012, what is the value? 1. So that 1 will be stored in a Y. That's why now Y contains the value 1. 2 is gone, now it contains 1. And when you say star P is equal to 3, left hand side, if you use the star P, now it indicates the location pointed by this P or the address present in a P. Okay, so 4012 is the value present in P or the address present in P. Go to that address and store the value 3 in that address. That is the meaning there. Okay, so then 3 will be stored in a X. Now X value is changed and Y value is changed. See here. So that means indirectly, without using X and Y names, you can change their values. That is the advantage of pointers. Now, what is wrong with this code? For example, I have two variables, float a comma b, int x comma star p. If I say p is equal to address of a, p is a pointer. Which type of pointer it is? Integer pointer. That means it should store address of another integer variable only. See here, p is equal to address of x I stored, and x is integer type and p is also integer type. Then this is okay. But if you say here in this small box, if you say p is equal to address of a, where a is a floating point data, where a is a floating point data. Okay, so then this gives error. That means p is supposed to point to integer. P is supposed to point to integer, but now P is pointing to a floating point number. Okay, so that's why this is not allowed in C. It gives error. Okay, so just try to get more concepts about pointers. Now, try to see here. When a pointer is declared, it does not point anywhere. Okay, so that means initially some garbage address will be present in that, and we must set it to point to some variable or some memory location before it is used. Okay, so assume the statements here. Now int star p, take this statement int star p, and if you say star p is equal to 10, this gives error because you have not made p to point to any other variable and directly you stored some value into this. Okay, so then to which address it is pointing? Nowhere. Okay, so that's why this creates a error here. Okay, now assume we have some piece of code like this. What happens? Now we'll try to understand. I have two pointer variables star p star q and two ordinary variables x comma y. Now if I say p is equal to address of x, now this is memory for p, pointer p, and this is memory for pointer q. Okay, similarly for memory x and y also memory is allocated. And when you say p is equal to address of x, okay, so assume p is now pointing to x. And when you say q is equal to address of y, q will be pointing to y now. Q will be pointing to y now. Now when you say star p is equal to 10, okay, so now you made p to point to this variable x. That's why now you can store some value in x without using x name. Now you can say star p is equal to 10. That means in x, the value 10 will be stored. And star q is equal to 20. If you say in y, 20 will be stored. Similarly, you can assign one pointer to another pointer. P is equal to q. What happens here? Now P and Q are pointers. P and Q are pointers here. Okay, so if you say P is equal to Q, what happens? P is pointing to X, Q is pointing to Y. Okay, so generally if you understand this assignment statement, P is equal to Q, the value present in Q will be stored in P. What is the value present in Q? Assume that it is 5008. Then that 5008 is nothing but address of Y. 5008 is nothing but address of a y. So that means address of y now you are storing in a P. That means once this 5008 will be stored there, then P is also now pointed to y. So both P and Q now both pointed to the variable y only. Okay, so these things, when you read textbooks, you will understand these points. So how to find out where is the address present? Okay, so as I told, you can use percentage %u format specifier, and you can use ampersand symbol before the variable that gives the address. Okay, now I have a small piece of code here to find address of the variable. Now assume that there are three variables: char a, int b, float c, three different types. Okay, so in a I have stored character n, in b I have stored the number 20, in c I have stored 20.5. Now just see here, printf percentage c is stored at address percentage u, a comma address of a. Okay, so then you will get n is stored at so and so address. Similarly, percentage d is stored at address, that means 20 is stored at so and so address. Then similarly 20.5 is stored at so and so address. So this way, by using ampersand symbol, you can get a address of the variables. When you say a, it prints the value, and when you say ampersand a, it prints the address of that a. This notation you should understand. Okay, so now see here, a is equal to 15. For a, memory is allocated, and that memory location is given the name a. Okay, we said that for a 4 bytes of memory is allocated, but we are drawing only one box here. We are drawing only one box here. Okay, so this single box is nothing but 4 bytes. If you expand this, the 4 bytes will be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so these 4 bytes I am just showing in the form of a single box actually. Okay, every time drawing these 4 bytes is difficult. So that's why directly we say that this is 4 bytes of data. Okay, then in that, now 4 bytes, each byte will have an address. Okay, so 4002, 4003, 4004, 4005. Now these are the 4 addresses for these 4 bytes. Okay, so each byte will have an address: 4002, 4003, 4004, and 4005. Okay, so understand clearly here. Now these 4 bytes I have shown in the form of a single box here, and I say that a address is 4002. A address is 4002. 4002 is nothing but address of the first byte. Yes or no? 4002 is nothing but address of the first byte. Okay, so that means when you have a block of bytes of memory allocated for some variable, the first byte address we take as address of this variable a. Because when you know starting address, you can read up to 4 bytes. Then you can read the entire data. Okay, so that's why the first byte address we say address of this variable a. A address means 4002, which is nothing but the first byte address. Okay, so this way. So this first byte address and 15 will be stored in this form in these 4 bytes internally, but we have shown only single box. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, so every time we don't draw these 4 and we simply draw this only. Okay, and that first byte address we call it as base address. What is the name given for first byte address? Base address. Okay, so what is the base address of a means 4002, or in short just address we say. In short we call it as address or base address. Base address of a is 4002, means the first byte address it is. Okay, right. Now pointers and arrays. This is very important concept related to pointers. Here we can understand arrays concepts and pointers concepts clearly. Okay, just see here. For example, when we declare an array like this, int x of 5 is equal to 11, 22, 33, 44, 55. So what happens? Compiler allocates sufficient amount of storage to store all the 5 elements of the array. Okay, so like this. Now see, for storing 5 elements, this is the memory allocated for this variable x. Okay, and how we can access each element: x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, x of 3, and x of 4. Okay, so assume the address of 11 is 1000. Address of 11 is 1000. Can you say what is the address of 22? What is the address of 22? It is 1004. It is 1004. Why it is 1004? Why it is 1004? Now see here. I'll explain here. Okay, so this is address of x. Okay, so this is first 11 and this is 22. Okay, so if address of this x is 1000, this address of x is 1000, then what is the address of this 1004 we are saying? Okay, so in previous slide I have shown that. Okay, so this x is nothing but, see here, a 15 means 4 bytes will be allocated. Okay, what are those 4 bytes? And a address is 4002, we say. That means 4002, 4003, 4004, 4005. These 4 bytes are allocated for this a. These 4 bytes are allocated for this a. Then what is the next byte address? 4006 it comes. Okay, and if you remove this box here, if you remove this box here, now we'll say that address of A is 4000 on 4002 only. That means, but actually this contains 4002, 4003, 4004, 4005. Only first byte address we say as address of that variable. Similarly is the case with the pointers also. And when you say address of 11 is 1000, okay, so it indicates that for this 11, what are the 4 bytes allocated here? For this 11, what are the 4 bytes? 1000, comma 1001, comma 1002, comma 1003. Okay, so these 4 bytes are allocated for this first element 11, 1000, 1001, 1002, 1003. Okay, so then immediately the next byte address is 1004. Okay, so that means for this 22, what are allocated? 1004 means 1004, 1005, 1006 and 1007. These 4 bytes are allocated, and in this we say only the first byte address as address. Okay, now if it is 33, next element, what is its address now? Okay, so in this single box there are 4 addresses: 1004, 5, 6, 7. Then immediately what are the next byte address? 1008. Okay, so then the address of this 33 is 1008. Then what is the address of 44 here? It is 1012 plus 4. Each element occupies 4 bytes, no? So that's why it is 1012. Now if it is 55, what is its address? 1016. Okay, so this way, once we know first element address, we can calculate remaining elements addresses. That is the advantage of pointers here. Just see here. Okay, so first byte address is 1000. Then what is the address of second element? 1004. Address of third element 1008. Fourth element 1012. Fifth element 1016. Okay, so that means this is nothing but base address. First element address is called base address of the array. Array base address we call it as. Okay, so when you say name x, it indicates this first element address. That is base address it indicates, and that's why x is called a constant pointer. X is called as a constant pointer to the first element. Okay, so what is the first element? X of 0. Okay, so the value of X is 1000. That means if you print X, it prints X is nothing but this entire box actually. Each element is X of 0, X of 1, X of 2, X of 3 we use. Okay, when you print X, then 1000 will be printed, which is nothing but address of the first element. Okay, so like this, if you use printf percentage u comma x, what it prints? 1000. Even if you say address of X of 0, which is nothing but first element address, that also prints 1000. That also prints 1000. Okay, so arrays and pointers, always you should understand the address concept here. Okay, so first element address if you know, then second calculating second element, third element, fourth element addresses you should understand. Okay, right. Now if you see int x is of 5 is equal 11, 22, 33, 44, 55. Now this is how the memory is allocated. Okay, previously we have shown only these 5 boxes. Okay, but internally now you can say for this X also some memory is allocated and 1000 will be stored first element. That means X is now pointing to this first element. So that's why the array name itself is a pointer. We say array name itself is a pointer, and that pointer is called a constant pointer. Why? Because it should always store 1000 only. So in short, we can say that array name is a constant pointer. Okay, right? So today we'll stop here.